Alright, what is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Each Adventure channel. My name is Josh, and as you probably could tell by the title of this video, we have a couple things to talk about today. So let's go ahead and get to it and roll that intro. So, as you can see, we're out here riding the DRZ, and this is going to be the bike that we're riding for a while now. And like I said, as you can probably tell from the title of this video, I made the decision to go ahead and sell the CRF250L. Now, I know what you guys might be thinking. Like, Josh, you love that bike. Like, you know, Mr. Small Displacement Man. You know, you just did a video about 5 things you love about the CRF250L. And actually, I think even in that video, I said I had no intentions of selling it. And you know what? It's an idea that I've had for a while, but it's something that just kind of came up out of nowhere. So let me give you guys a little backstory. I had originally thought about selling it when I had the TT250, and you know, just because it's like, well, I have 2 bikes. What do you really need 2 bikes for? Everybody needs more than 1 bike. I'm not gonna discount that fact at all. But I was, you know, I was thinking about selling it, just, you know, to kind of help pay some stuff off. And, you know, the TT ended up being more bike than I ever expected. And so I ended up keeping both bikes, long story short. And then, you know, when I had the opportunity to come up to get the DRZ, I had to sell one, and I was like, well, you know what, the CRF is the better bike, so I'll go ahead and sell the TT. And so we got the DRZ. The DRZ's been great. I've been mainly using the Honda as a commuter to get me back and forth to work, so I'm actually on my way to work right now. But anyways, you know, I've kind of had this change in mentality. So let me talk about that a little bit and see if I can kind of explain where I'm coming from. So I've always thought that I've been good with money. I'm pretty thrifty. If you follow this channel, you know, I ride relatively cheap bikes. I wear relatively cheap gear. I'm the same way when I go to restaurants and stuff. I order usually the cheapest thing on the menu. So I'm very frugal, actually, when it comes to that kind of stuff. And my wife is too. You know, she's always trying to find coupons and things that are on sale and stuff like that. So, you know, and then as far as my monthly expenses, you know, I usually, you know, list out all my bills and what I have to pay, and I kind of mark them off as I go. And, you know, I always thought that was kind of the equivalent of having a budget. And I had this realization about a month ago, because, you know, we've been trying to pay stuff off for a while, and, you know, our goal eventually is to buy a house. You know, I live in Southern California, so it's not the cheapest market when it comes to that kind of stuff. So, you know, we've just been kind of chugging along, being normal. You know, we have two car payments, some credit card bills, and a student loan, and you know, we've just been kind of chugging along. And I got to the point where I didn't feel like I was getting anywhere. It's like, why am I not getting anywhere? And I had a couple checks where I had some extra money come in, and you know, all that went to just paying off credit cards and stuff. And I'm like, what the heck is going on? Like, you know, we make too much money to be this broke all the time. You know, I don't make a ton of money. I'm a software developer, and I make a decent income. But we're a 1-income family. We make probably what the average household income is for our area. You know, but we kept having this time where I get like this extra money, and I'd be like, okay, we're gonna pay this off or pay this down, and all of a sudden that money just disappeared. So I just happened to be kind of Googling around, you know, something to do with finance. I don't know what it was. Oh, there's a coyote. I don't know if it was, you know, how to pay off debt or how to pay off credit cards or whatever the search term was, but I ended up watching a YouTube video from a guy named Dave Ramsey. Now, some of you guys might know who Dave Ramsey is. I had never heard of him up until this point, but basically he's a financial guru / advisor that's had a radio show for the last 25 years, and his whole thing is to teach people not only to get out of debt, but how to live debt-free. And you know, I was watching this, you know, and he takes calls from people and gives them advice. And this was the first time that, you know, something somebody else had said regarding money actually made a lot of sense to me. And kind of the principles and fundamentals that he talks about on a show are things that, you know, that I've wanted to do on my own, but society basically tells you not to do that. Society these days, you know, tells you that, you know, you're always going to have a car payment and you're always going to have student loans, you know, so you should just, you know, just accept that fact and kind of consider that part of your life. And I'm like that sucks. Like, I don't want to always have a car payment. I don't want to always have student loans. I mean, if I paid the minimum payment on my student loans, I'd be paying on my student loan for 25 years. That's freaking insane. And, you know, I'm sorry if I'm not trying to I'm not trying to lecture anybody financially. I'm just kind of telling you the things that I've thought of before and just the kind of things that I've learned from listening to this show. I've been hooked. I listen to it pretty much every day now. And, you know, it's inspiring to hear these people's stories, you know, how they've managed to get out of debt. And one of the things I like about Dave Ramsey, and he's just no BS. Like, he's like, this is what you need to do. And, you know, he's not afraid to say something stupid idea. I mean, he's very old school, I think, when it comes, you know, not only to money, but just kind of the way he approaches things. And, you know, I could see why people these days might get offended by that. But to me, it's just like, it's like a breath of fresh air. It's like common sense. And he even says that, it's, you know, it's common sense for your dollars and cents. But anyways, you know, he kind of teaches, you know, the way to get out of debt is to do what's called a debt snowball, if you will. And what that means is you, regardless of interest rates or regardless of this or that, you basically take your smallest debt and you attack that debt with everything that you can. And then once that's paid off, you take that amount and then you roll it into your next debt and you do the same thing. And you just rinse and repeat until all your debts are paid off. And, you know, if you're paying extra money and using that extra money as well as your minimum payment and keep rolling that over, I mean, you can get debts paid off really quickly. So that's kind of my plan now. And just to kind of get the ball rolling, you know, I've always been kind of simple, you know what I mean? You can tell by the bikes that I ride. I mean, DRZ is a pretty simple bike, TT250 is a simple bike, Honda's a simple bike, the TTR is a pretty simple bike. They're simple and cheap. And you know, I kind of had the realization that, like, okay, like I can sell the Honda and really get a jump start on this plan of mine. And so that's what I ended up doing. And, you know, I'm bummed. I love the Honda. You know, somebody might think, like, well, yeah, no wonder you sold it. It's kind of an overweight, underpowered pig with kind of crummy suspension. And you know, while all that stuff is true, it's a fun bike. It's a fun bike to ride. It's easy to own. It's easy to maintain. It has mannerisms of a street bike. It's more comfortable than this bike is on the highway, even though it's technically slower. But yeah, man, it's you know, it's something that I felt I needed to do for my future. And you know, it'll by no means mean that we won't get another bike at some point. It's just right now we can make do with the DRZ. And the DRZ is great. I love this bike. All right, let's tackle this here. Let's take a brief intermission. Oh. We got it. What gear am I in? Very nice. Whoa. I'd aired up the tires a little bit this morning too, so they're kind of sliding a little bit. So anyways, I hope you guys are kind of cool and okay with that decision. You know, it does open the door later on for me to get something a little bit more adventure oriented, but for now, you know, like I said, we'll make do with the DRZ. And I say make do like it's a bad thing. Like, this bike is, I'm gonna say it right now, it's a lot more fun to ride in the dirt than the Honda is, for sure. Like, the last time I rode the Honda out here, I was hitting some of these ruts like it was the DRZ. And it didn't feel very good. That's all I have to say. But yeah, so, you know, if any of you guys kind of struggle with, you know, finances, like personal finance, and, you know, especially if you have a lot of debt or anything like that, and you know, kind of need some help and guidance, and you want to see what I think is a practical approach anyways to, you know, getting out of debt and building wealth for yourself, check out Dave Ramsey. I'll put a link down below. And you know, like I said, he might not be for everybody, but you know, in this day and age, I kind of, like I said, I think it's a breath of fresh air. And to me, like I said, it just hit a chord with me, and to me it makes a lot of sense. And you know, like I said, I don't want to live in debt the rest of my life, constantly stressed out about, you know, when things are going to get paid off, or if and when we'll ever be able to buy a house. And under this kind of new plan that I'm trying here, you know, it's a lot farther off than what I had thought it would be, but at least I kind of have something to go by now. And let me tell you, having a budget, like a real budget, you know, where you basically budget every dollar and say, okay, I'm going to spend this here, but you have a plan for where all your money's going to go, and you stick to that plan. It's a very liberating feeling. We've been doing that for about a month, and it's just been awesome, like knowing, like, okay, I'm going to spend this here, and I don't have to worry about whether or not I'm going to have enough money at the end of the month for, you know, something else. But anyways, yeah, so that's kind of the story behind my decision. You know, it feels kind of nice to have a plan, and you know, it feels kind of nice to have something to look forward to. I mean, like I said, it's an idea that I've had for a while, and you know, I even had spreadsheets and stuff kind of planning it all out, how I was going to do that. And then you know, I had heard some advice from people, and just kind of the general advice you hear from society that you know what, you're always going to be in debt, and that's 100% not true. If you listen to Dave Ramsey, that is not true at all. There's a lot of people getting out of debt, no more loans, no more whatever. He's not against taking a loan out for a mortgage, but he does have specific criteria. But I'm not really going to go into all that right now, but I just wanted to give you guys an update on kind of what's going on. But I'm excited. I really like the DRZ, and now I have even more excuses to ride it, more excuses to really outfit it the way I want. And yeah, I think it'll be all around good stuff. So I hope I didn't bore you guys to death. Hope you guys aren't too upset with me. And I hope you guys can understand where I'm coming from. You know, like I said, I'm sad that the CRF had to go. It drew the short end of the stick. The guy that bought it from me, he bought it for his wife, and he's a buddy of my buddies, and he seemed real cool, and I know it's going to be well taken care of. So anyways, guys, that is all I have for today. As always, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please leave a like down below. If you're new here, please subscribe. We'd like to do little rides like this every now and then when we have stuff to talk about. Well, most of the time it's adventures and off-road riding in different places. Sometimes the same places, sometimes alone, sometimes with friends. So if you like moto stuff, hit that subscribe button, and we'll try to do this every week. Have a little bit of fun every week, talk about some stuff every week. You know, typical YouTube stuff. But anyways, guys, as always, remember to have fun, take care, and ride safe. And I will see you guys in the next one. Until then, make sure you get out there and have adventures of your own. And I will see you guys next time. Later!